Welcome to Shocking History Photos, where every picture has a story that will leave you amazed, inspired, and sometimes speechless. Let's explore the past together. Did you know that the Wild West wasn't just shaped by cowboys and outlaws, but by fearless women whose stories were buried beneath the dust of history? Tucked away in forgotten albums and weathered shoeboxes are rare photographs that capture the untold lives of the women who defied the brutal hardships of the frontier. Women who rode alongside gunslingers, ran saloons, fought to survive in lawless towns, and carved out their place in a rugged, unforgiving land. Behind these faded images lies a story of grit, sacrifice, and quiet strength. Stay with us as we uncover their hidden history through rare photos and untold stories. This famous photograph captures Belle Starr in a striking pose, dressed in a long, elegant black gown, a wide-brimmed hat, and armed with a revolver at her side. Her outfit blends refinement with danger, reflecting her dual identity as both a Southern lady and a feared outlaw. The pistol in her hand is no mere accessory. It's a symbol of the power she wielded in a world dominated by men. Belle Starr, born Myra Maybelle Shirley in 1848, traded a privileged life for crime. She ran with Jesse James and the Youngers before marrying outlaws Jim Reed and later Sam Starr, leading the notorious Starr clan in horse theft and bribery. A master manipulator, she evaded justice with cunning and bribes. While Belle Starr's story painted a portrait of calculated rebellion, another figure from the Wild West emerged with a different kind of grit: Calamity Jane. This image of Calamity Jane showcases her rugged Western attire, holding a rifle with a confident grip. Her fringed jacket and bullet belt highlight her frontier toughness, while her determined expression reflects a woman who thrived in the harsh world of the Wild West. Calamity Jane, born Martha Jane Canary, was a sharpshooter and fearless frontierswoman. She earned her nickname after saving a U.S. Army captain and became known for her rough-and-tumble lifestyle. A whiskey-drinking, no-nonsense woman, she allegedly saved 6 stagecoach passengers from an attack in 1876 and later joined Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. Though she married, she requested to be buried next to Wild Bill Hickok, the man she reportedly loved. From bravery and grit to charm and cunning, Calamity Jane's story blends with that of Big Nose Kate, who used her sharp wit and beauty to survive the Wild West. She was described as having striking features with dark hair and piercing eyes. Despite her nickname, which referenced her slightly prominent nose, she was known for her sharp, confident demeanor and rugged beauty. She moved to Kansas at age 16, where she began working as a prostitute. While working in Fort Griffin, Texas, she began a relationship with Doc Holliday, one of the deadliest gunslingers of the time. Their relationship lasted until Holliday's death. Kate helped Holliday escape jail in 1877 by starting a fire and holding a guard at gunpoint. She was with him before the infamous 1881 gunfight at the OK Corral, watching from a boarding house as the feud between cowboys and lawmen turned deadly, a moment cemented in Wild West legend. Just as Big Nose Kate stood by Doc Holliday during the chaos of the OK Corral, Laura Bullion carved her own place in outlaw history alongside Butch Cassidy's infamous gang. Laura Bullion, known as the Rose of the Wild Bunch, was one of the few female outlaws to actively participate in the notorious exploits of Butch Cassidy's gang. Laura's clothing often blended practicality with feminine touches. She needed to move quickly and sometimes blend in with the men of Butch Cassidy's Wild Bunch, but she never completely abandoned her identity as a woman. When participating in train robberies, she would dress in more masculine clothing that allowed her to move freely, sometimes even disguising herself as a man when the situation called for it. The Wild West was no stranger to women who defied expectations, but Pearl Hart took rebellion to another level. Most shocking to society was her decision to cut her dark hair short, a style virtually unheard of for women in that era. This wasn't just a fashion choice, but part of her strategy to disguise herself as a man when pulling off her famous stagecoach robbery. Unlike the modest, feminine appearance expected of women, Pearl embraced elements of male dress when it suited her criminal activities. Her disguise was convincing enough to help her commit one of the last recorded stagecoach robberies in American history, a bold move that cemented her place in Wild West legend. Pearl's appearance reflected her rebellious lifestyle. Drawn to the cowboy world, she developed habits that were considered shocking for women: drinking liquor, smoking cigars, and using morphine. These vices, typically associated with rough Western men, made her stand out even more in the male-dominated frontier. Mary Fields, known as Black Mary or Stagecoach Mary, cut an unforgettable figure in the Old West. Standing around 6 feet tall and weighing over 200 pounds, she had a powerful, commanding presence that demanded respect. Her dark skin and piercing eyes were striking, and her strong, muscular build made her an imposing figure that few would dare to challenge. Unlike most women of her time who wore dresses and feminine attire, Mary chose practical men's clothing that suited her rugged lifestyle. She typically wore sturdy boots for the rough terrain and a long coat that became part of her signature look. This clothing choice wasn't just about comfort, it was a statement of her independence in a time when women's roles were strictly defined. Mary's appearance was made even more distinctive by the cigar often seen between her lips and the revolver she carried openly at her side. These weren't just accessories, they were symbols of her fearless approach to life on the frontier. Mary Field's fearless grit and strength made her a legend of the frontier, a legacy echoed by Annie Oakley, whose sharp aim and steady hand made her a legend in her own right. Annie Oakley was small but mighty, standing just 5 feet tall. She had light brown hair, blue-gray eyes, and fair skin. Unlike many flashy performers of her time, Annie dressed modestly but with style. She wore tailored dresses with high necklines and long sleeves, often decorated with fringe that moved when she performed. Her outfit always included a wide-brimmed hat and sturdy leather boots, a look that became famous as her own. Annie Oakley's sharp gaze and steady hands reflected her unmatched skill. Known as Little Sure Shot, she amazed crowds by splitting cards, hitting airborne dimes, and even shooting cigarettes from her husband's lips with flawless precision. Annie championed women's empowerment, teaching 15,000 women firearm safety. In 1901, a train accident left her temporarily paralyzed, requiring 5 spinal surgeries. While Annie Oakley was known for her precision and grace, Goldie Griffith brought a different kind of strength to the Wild West. With an athletic build shaped by years of stunt riding and bronco busting, Goldie carried herself with fearless confidence. Her sharp features and piercing eyes reflected both determination and a playful edge. Goldie's style matched her bold personality. While other women wore tight corsets and flowing skirts, she opted for fitted riding pants, sturdy boots, and a leather jacket with fringe. Practical choices for someone who lived on the edge. A wide-brimmed hat and a bandana completed her cowgirl look, setting her apart from the typical women of her time. Goldie wasn't just tough, she was a trailblazer. She mastered bronco busting, taming wild horses that no one else could handle, and later performed daring stunts in early Western films. Her life off stage was just as dramatic. During one show, she married Hiram Joseph Sterling in front of 8,000 spectators, but the marriage turned violent, ending when Goldie shot him in public. Unlike many women of her time, Eleanor Dumont carried an air of elegance that sharply contrasted with the ruggedness of the Wild West. While most gamblers were rough and unkempt, she dressed in fine gowns adorned with lace and intricate stitching. Her dark eyes radiated confidence, and her steady hands dealt cards with such precision that even the toughest men took notice. Beyond her refined manners and polished speech, one distinctive feature set her apart: a faint line of dark hair on her upper lip, earning her the enduring nickname Madame Mustache. When she arrived in Nevada City, California, around 1850, she had already mastered the art of gambling. Instead of chasing gold like the miners, she built her fortune another way, opening Dumont's Palace, where she introduced 21, an early form of blackjack. Eleanor was not just a skilled gambler, but also a savvy businesswoman. She maintained strict rules in her establishment: no cursing, no brawls, and no drunkenness. Bringing a touch of sophistication to the untamed frontier, Rose Dunn had a striking beauty that set her apart from the typical image of a frontier outlaw. With soft features, fair skin, and long flowing hair often tucked beneath a wide-brimmed hat, she carried an air of innocence that belied her dangerous associations. She favored stylish yet practical dresses, often cinched at the waist, with riding boots that allowed her to move effortlessly between the refined world of her upbringing and the rugged terrain of outlaw life. Unlike many female outlaws who adopted a rough, masculine look, Rose maintained a ladylike charm, making her an unusual and almost mythical figure in Wild West history. Taught to rope, ride, and shoot by her brothers, Rose Dunn joined George Newcomb's Wild Bunch at 14 or 15, running errands for the gang. In 1893, she helped Newcomb escape an ambush by providing cover fire with a Winchester rifle. After hiding with him for 2 months, her brothers, now bounty hunters, killed Newcomb in 1895 for a $5,000 reward. The women of the Wild West were more than just side characters in a rugged frontier dominated by men. They were pioneers, rebels, and legends in their own right. Their stories of bravery, cunning, and resilience challenge the myths of the Old West and reveal the true grit behind those faded photographs. Enjoyed these stories? Hit like, subscribe, and let us know which Wild West woman you want to hear more about in the comments.